Communications Unit of the bank. I'm your presenter, Cyrus Badio. The program is on the first and last Wednesdays of every month. We will be joining Mr. James Wilfred. Mr. Wilfred is the Senior Director for Operations at the CBL, and he will provide more information on the infusion of the new Liberian currency in the system. The program is being relayed by several community radio stations throughout the country. The voice of Sino, Radio Piso, the voice of Bapulu, Radio Bezon, Radio Kegema, the voice of Plibo, as well as the voice of Rural Monserrado. Radio Kakata, Radio Banga, the voice of Grand Crew, the Riverside Broadcasting Service, as well as Radio G, Smile Radio, Radio Bomi as well, and Radio Ketoma are all relaying the Money Matters program. We'll join Mr. Wilfred as soon as we get a message from our sponsor, the CBL.
People don't know that the national legislature in May 2021 had the central bank of Dabirato renew that money to make sure enough money in the country. The new $100 Dabira money was the first of the new family of Dabira money that they bring to show in 2021. While the other money, the $5, the $10, the $20, the $50, the $500, and the $1,000 Dabira money, they will hand over and bring it into 2022. And the bottom one, they will put it outside in 2024. And let me remind y'all, no money coming outside in 2023. The Central Bank of Dabira is pleased to tell you or show you the new family of the new Dabira money. Here are the things that own the new family of Dabira money that you need to know so nobody can give you false money. Number one, you will see plenty of small stars every time you place the money on the line. You will see in the money. Number second, you will feel small pink on the top and bottom of the money. When you rub your finger around the end of the money, you will feel something there. Even on the picture, where on the money, you will feel small pink on it. Number 10, you will see the sign of the country, the bureau, and the CBL letter on the money. When you hold it in the light or when you turn it to the sun, beside the new thing they put on the new money to protect it, you can see the difference between the new money and the old money. All the people who here on the $20, $50, and $100, they get ring on their head. Number second, the 7 women who designed the Dabira flag that take on the $500 Dabira money. Number 10, you will see the sign of the 16th tribe, the Tower Mine, on the front of the 1,000 Dabira money, and the capital building on the back of the $1,000 Dabira money. Remember now that the first time $1,000 Dabira money will be in the
Which
country.
office?
Number 4, now that the old coin now,
Yeah,
the
no.
new $5 and $10.
You see, the way these things work, before we talk, it has to be approved by the governor. He wanted some interview. Oh, we're gonna talk.
When you press the $5 and $10 coin, now I say you will also see the stars underneath the picture on the front of the coin when you press the $5 and $10 coin. For more information on the new Dabira money, please visit the CBL website. So www.cbl.org.org. New Dabira money, Cyrus Badio.
And glad to be back on the program, Money Matters. Like we said earlier, we've been joined by Mr. James Wilfred. Mr. Wilfred is the Senior Director for Operations. A little bit tongue-tied this morning, Operations at the Central Bank of Liberia. He's also a member of the Currency Reform Committee at the Central Bank. Good morning, Mr. Wilfred, and welcome to Money Matters.
Good morning, Mr. Badio. Thank you for the opportunity, and I want to thank radio listeners for the opportunity to be here to speak again on these Money Matters. My colleagues, Mr. Jople and Mr. Wallace, are on an assignment this morning, so I'm stepping in for them.
So what you heard earlier actually was a recap of what they presented the last time they were on Money Matters. Now, Mr. Wilfred, it is a little now over a year since the currency exchange process started, with an initial delivery and infusion of more than 8 billion actually. That's in B, 8 billion banknotes into the economy, and that was to address the liquidity issue and the gradual withdrawal of mutilated banknotes from the system. How has the exchange process progressed since February 2022?
Well, the exchange process is on course, is progressing gradually as we've informed the public from time to time. The exchange, the fusion process is being drawn through the commercial banks here in Monrovia and, of course, across the country. There are challenges of infrastructure, so we haven't been able to reach across the country as we have been able to do in Monserrado. Monserrado is the capital, so you can understand. With the branch networks, so people have at least the feel of the new money now in the economy. It's progressing in line with the implementation plan. We have been able to receive all the consignment of banknotes that were earmarked for 2022. In addition to the initial 8 billion that we received to deal with the liquidity situation and to commence the efficient process, the additional amount for 2022 has been received. I think it's somewhat to almost 35 billion. And that is enough to deal with the whole exchange process for 2023 and, of course, to deal with additional infusion to satisfy the needs of the economy.
Well, Mr. Wilfred, despite the infusion of a reasonable amount of new currency into the banking system, there are still complaints of mutilated banknotes being given out to customers whenever they visit these commercial banks. Why is this the case?
Well, we got this information on why. I'm not sure that is what the case, the situation is now as we speak. Maybe we need to follow up with the banks. Banks have been instructed not to give any mutilated old money to the public. So those monies as they come, we're sterilizing them, we are destroying them as we receive them. And in Monrovia, I don't see any reason why commercial banks should be issuing mutilated Liberian banknotes to the public. Now, I can understand the situation across the country because of the infrastructure challenges. We haven't been able to deliver the brand new, the new banknotes across the country to be able to address the needs of the people there, and we are doing so gradually in addition to our public sensitization as we move across the country. I was just in Lofa. We traveled to Saraye, to Zozo, to Kwadumoni, that's Bakidu. We were also in Vonjima, went to Foya, and we got by over the weekend. The same message is there. Why are we not feeding the new money?
This was part of the public engagement.
It was part of the public engagement. And then we keep informing the people that, the money is going to come here gradually because we are not hastening this process. To say that we're setting a deadline before this time, if you don't exchange your money, then it is yours. So don't worry, it is going to come here before the end of this year, or even in the middle of this year. You will feel the impact of the new money.
So there's no reason why customers should be issued
panic
mutilated banknotes at about this time.
Here in Monrovia. Yeah. In the rural area, we have told people that new money, and that's our message on the promo, new money is in value.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of reasons for that. We're telling them, say, don't worry. Even if you were to have your own money, you can still use it. There will be a time that the central bank is going to announce when the new money will cease. The old money will cease to be a legal tender. But for now, they are still legal tender. So, irrespective of how mutilated they are here, continue to use them. We are cautious about, the existence of the mutilated money in the economy, especially in the rural areas. But gradually, through the infusion process, you will begin to see that the new money is going to dominate and the old money will be reduced gradually and they will eventually disappear.
By the end of the year, a total of about somewhere around 35 billion, somewhere close to that, as you mentioned, was delivered into the country. So, will that amount be sufficient to ensure that this year, 2023, which is an election year, as you know, there will be no liquidity squeeze?
Yeah, there will be no. In fact, the situation of liquidity, I think, is behind us.
Okay.
I can promise you that. The situation we have in 2019 even up to 2020, where people go to the bank, they say, you cannot have all your withdrawals. We'll have to ration it. That is behind us now. You're never gonna have that situation.
Never, never.
Well, let me not say never, but
Never say never.
let me not say never, but let me not say never. I can take that back, but I can say in the foreseeable year. I mean, in the short to medium term, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen because we put insufficient amount included in the 48 billion that was approved by the legislature to deal with the situation of the exchange, to deal with the growth of the economy, to grow CBL reserve in line with funds program. So we have enough to deal with.
Okay. Now let's talk about the $1,500 Liberian dollar banknotes. Are they now in circulation?
Well, my understanding is that yesterday we started issuing the 1,000. I haven't had a piece of it yet. I'm not sure if Mr. Badio These monies are intended for the public, so we issue them. We don't prioritize access to them. Central bank people don't prioritize. My understanding is that we started issuing them yesterday, so it's likely that people now have it and they are beginning to coincide with it. Yes.
So contrary to what the speculations were that the 1,500 banknotes were being brought into the country for a particular group of people, that is completely false.
No, otherwise the central bank governor will be the first person to put it. But if I call right now, the central bank governor will say, I don't have it. It is meant for everybody, It's not meant for the governor, it's not meant for the deputy governor, it's not meant for central bank people. It's not even meant for government officials. It's meant for anybody, and so we started issuing it. The quantity in terms of pieces is still small for the size of the economy, but again, this is the first time we are issuing the 1,000. Gradually that size will increase in terms of volume. So no one should panic. Don't say that I must have the 1,000. All central banks across the country, across the world, when they issue new money, it's there. It's there for anybody who can have access to it. If we start putting that in the ATM, if we went and give instruction to the ATM, it's going to give out new money, and that new money could likely be 1,000 that will come into your pockets. So we're not discriminating who have the 1,000. Yeah.
At some point, it seemed that there were apprehensions about the 1,500. Now, all of a sudden, everyone wants the 1,500.
Yeah, in fact, surprisingly, when we went to the counties trying to create this awareness, there was an argument where some people were saying bring 1,000. The introduction of 1,000 is going to introduce, counterfeiting, going to introduce inflation and all of that. While that argument was there was a market woman that came and justified why the 1,000 was necessary, and she was giving a very classic, example. You say, for example, this my $5 when I put it together, it's too plenty. But if I put my 1,000, I think I got 1,000, it's plenty of money. I can just go lay in and keep it. So she had her own reason why the 1,000 was introduced. So everybody has, a way of appreciating what we are doing. But in all, the 1,000 is good. It's there to be able to serve to gradually, deal with the situation of de-dollarization. Because people can actually easily just use a 1,000 bill in terms of $5, for example, or $10. And that's the goal. We eventually begin to, give, wider uses of the Liberian dollar priority over that, and that strengthens our currency over time. And people will begin to hold it. The more people desire to use your local currency, the better it is. And then we can do away with the $5 US and the $10 US to do our purchases as we go to maybe local restaurants. They are charging United States dollars. There will be no need to charge United States dollars if 1,000 can satisfy the needs. And that will help to gradually control prices. So that's the goal.
We will interact with our listeners. The numbers are 0776-278-255, 0776-278-255, 0-888-861-387, 0-888-861-387. Back to the issue of the 500 and the 1,000. How accessible are they? And if someone were to go to a commercial bank today and they say the 1,000 notes, is it something that they can easily get, or you have to go through the corner to try to get the 1,000 or 500 bank notes?
Well, like I said, the volume of the 1,000 is not enough to meet the needs of everybody in terms of wanting to hold it. So the bank will decide if they have it, they can give it to you.
Okay.
I know sometimes in the commercial banks, especially when they will prioritize their prime customers, and we can't really do anything about that. Where somebody will go and they will require it, and then of course the icing they get it easily. And when an ordinary person go, they don't give it to them. I mean, that is, we can't deal with that. We can't handle that situation for now. But it is not there to discriminate. The main thing is that as once we have a lot of that, and we don't have it now because we're just talking about 6 billion of the 1,000. And if you just calculate in terms of pieces, 1,000, we're talking about just about 6 million pieces. 6 million pieces. Is it 6 million pieces? Yeah, 6 billion. Of course, you divide that by 1,000. Yeah, 6 million pieces. Let's put it that way. So that's the number of pieces we have. But now it can satisfy, everybody having access to it at the same time.
And you will not be able to bring in any additional until 2024.
Well, that is informed by macroeconomic factors. For example, when we came to the point where we had to make determination as to the component of the 48 billion that was approved by the legislature, there is a formula that we use, to be able to balance the volume and the quantity, that constitute that. So all of these are informed by macroeconomic factors, and of course, once we are informed that, there's more demand for $1,000, and we are not challenged by counterfeiting and all of that, we introduce additional $1,000.
Yeah, but in line with what the legislature has said, you're not supposed to bring in money in 2023.
No, I'm talking about future,
okay,
not now.
Okay, yeah.
For the 48 billion is locked in the next 3 years, so we're not supposed to go on to, we don't have that latitude. We always have to go back to the legislature, and that is beyond 3 years from now, when we shall have been qualified to now say, maybe there might be a need for us to bring additional currency, we got to go obtain additional approval.
Let's go to the telephones now. Hello, this is Money Matters.
Yeah, good morning, Monday, Mother family.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, busy family. Good morning to all of you. So, the $1,000, yes, and you put that you started putting us, I don't know, yesterday. So, let it count and the 500. But for now, actually, I want to appreciate you people on send your start, start to get rid of the defective money, the old one actually just doing well now. Because these are from the usually are on money the old 50, old 100, very, very hard. People actually, they're very trying to bless. And the point also about guess what? The point about what happened to all, they would have done, we're just going to spend now. That one, you put the point up, you put the law, you put the police. It's still a job from yesterday. In the sense, I look for the Bible, look for
the Okay, thank you very much. The numbers here are 0776 278 255, 0776 278 255, 0888 861 387, 0888 861 387. The CBL Money Matters call and be heard. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
Good morning.
you are on the air.
I'm John Philip from Banapong County.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I want to tell the students that thank you so much for the marvelous job they're doing for the Nigerian people and the nation alive.
Thank you.
But I have two concern as well as recommendation. I want to tell them thank you for sending the car to the social bank of, the car house of Banga, which is the car of Banga. But I'm touching them that they can divert the car. That's the point that only start and said that the Senate, they are not been there, and we are short of a point here. And the second recommendation is at all. Get the government take that said, the federal bank take that said, those that implore when the government pay it, even when they can add on their money so that they get the funds can explore the country. But they are doing so much good job. I want to commend them. Thank you so much for your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the lines. Do we have a caller there? That is it something that's been reconsidered? Because the last time we were on, someone called again to say when. Okay, let's take this call and then we'll come back to you, Mr. Wilfred. Hello, this is the CBL Money Matters program.
Thank you so much for the show. I go by the name Shaka Bobby Baby Zulu Political Mechanic Vision 2023 Political Mechanic.
Sir, just go ahead with your point on. We may have to cut you off, please. We don't have much time.
Thank you so much. My concern has to do
Thank you very much, Mr. Wilfred. Will address that. Hello, this is the CBL Money Matters program. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Cyrus, and good morning to your guest. First, this is Blake, Joseph Blake. I want to commend them for the excellent job that CBL is doing. I think that it's laudable. But then I have a contrary view in terms of the coin. I thought the new station about our coins were going to be in a further lower denomination. Because as you observe the market now, Cyrus, you will notice that there are things that are sold maybe 2 for 5, 3 for 5. And what it tells you is that there could be items sold below $5. And so our quest as citizens were we needed something lower than the $5 so that we could be able to purchase and get things. When you go to the supermarket, you got things in coins, in cents, right? So you are not able to get your change back because the money stopped at $5.
Wait,
So it hasn't really changed anything yet.
sir,
Hello?
where in this country is something being sold for 1 cent or 2 cent? Where?
Trust me, you go and buy sugar, you got it for $3.50. $3.50 in the supermarket. I don't you go to the supermarket all the time. Why is this strange to you?
Okay,
We got things that are there sold at the supermarket in things.
your point. Your point is Mr. Blake. Your point is well taken, and Mr. Wilfred will respond to that when we return.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your call. Let's take another caller on this line. I guess we've lost that caller. Mr. Wilfred, while we're waiting for, we could squeeze in one more call, but I guess you can be responding in the meantime. Okay, let's take that call. The call is coming. Hello, this is Money Matters. Welcome. This is Money Matters.
Mr. Badio,
Sir, go right ahead. We don't have much time, sir. Please.
yeah, okay, for me, I got problem with the coins. Am I audible?
Go ahead. There was a break. So, just you say you have problems with the coins. So, what are the problems? Sorry, we've lost him. Mr. Wilfred, we don't have much time, so I guess you noted some of the points that have been raised by the callers.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Badio. Let me start with the last caller. He commended us for the great job, but he has a different opinion on the denominational, on the denominational component. He realized that, I mean, he argued that our lower denomination is $5 when people have introduced smaller denominations. We understand, but just to comment on that. So, firstly, this reform was to replace old money with new money. I think the only addition we did was to introduce the 1,000 bill. Every other denomination remains the same. We are replacing old money. That was a mandate given to us to do so. Of course, that did not preclude, introducing smaller denomination, and that is not to tell you that we are not going to introduce smaller denomination going forward in the future. Yes, the argument is strong that you could be able to have items sold for $1, for $2, Liberian, and so in the market. If you go buy local commodity, of course, people could sell it in denomination less than 5. Those are very strong argument, and it doesn't mean that we are not going to introduce smaller denomination going forward. We might introduce that again. That will be based on economic factors. But just to tell you that the mandate and what we were doing, the focus of this particular reform was to replace existing currency with new currency. The only thing with the coin was that we realized because of the high velocity of the 5 and 10s, which subject it to higher mutilation, the decision was to print coins to extend the useful life of the money, the circulation of the money. If you know that $5 and $10 were mutilated, if you look now, you probably will not find any of them because they're all mutilated. But the new 5 and 10s, because they are coins, those will be up to 25, up to 15 to 25 years. So that one of the main reasons why, and going across the country, I think people really appreciate. They have problem with mutilation, and of course, they're going to solve the situation of mutilation. Notwithstanding, we could introduce smaller denomination in the future. So that's my comment to that. On the local languages, yes, that we take note of that. Yes, we just been advertising in English, but I think we take note of that going forward to see how we can be able to advertise some of these in our local
They
languages.
actually are local languages, except that
Yeah.
perhaps we have to engage a lot more community
A
radio
lot more
stations.
communities, so a lot more community radio station. There was a question about the coins in Banga that the people are not issuing it. I think it's not adequate. Yes, we just started moving coins across the country and starting with Banga. So as the inflation progresses, we tend to, to bring in more. So again, bear patience with us. It's going to be a gradual process. This is no panic. Just remain calm. You will continue to feel our presence in Banga and across the country. The decentralization plan has already accommodated other places like, Wonjoma. We will be extending to Wonjoma. We'll be going to Zredu. We'll be going to some parts of the southeast. throughout the course of the year.
Mr. Wilfred, that old clock on the wall will just not let us continue. We'll be back again next week with another edition of Money Matters. This program is heard on ELBC Radio on the first and last Wednesdays of every month. We want to thank our partner radio stations. Thanks to the partnership between the Public Trust Media Group, several community radio stations relayed Money Matters. Until next week, my name is Cyrus Badio, your presenter. Thanks for listening.